Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? Joey Sharkabach is back here with another video for you guys. Guys, I know I couldn't make my videos last night. My bad. It's just I had a really busy night and it got too late. So, here on Sunday morning, I'm going to be giving you my game picks for Week 3 of the 2020 NFL season. So, first game, we have the 1-1 49ers at the 0-2 Giants. So, Giants lost Saquon Barkley for the year with the torn ACL. But it's not like the Niners are clean either. Jimmy Garoppolo's hurt. Raheem Mostert's hurt. Nick Bosa tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Everyone got hurt last week. Excuse me. I believe Kittle is hurt as well. So the 49ers are totally banged up. But at the same time, the Giants have literally no one. I think Sterling Shepard, their one decent player on both sides, is hurt as well. So Giants are trash. Niners aren't great either, but this is not a game many people really care about. But they're technically the better team, so I'll take the Niners here, 24-17. But it's going to be kind of boring with all the injuries. So, next game, we have the 2-0 Bears at the 0-2 Falcons. So, Bears coming off a close win against the Giants last weekend. Almost choked it, but they hung on to win. Falcons taking a heartbreaking loss to the Cowboys last weekend. I thought they had it, but the onside kick, and the Falcons always find a way to choke it like usual. So, when it comes to who's going to come out on top, you guys think always stupid, but I'm actually thinking the Falcons are going to pull this one out because Trubisky, he hasn't looked bad, but at the same time, they've kind of been feasting, and they haven't even been last weekend they didn't feast. And they haven't really feasted on either weekend, but Trubisky has kind of done well against bad teams, and the Falcons aren't good. But they do have a kind of an underrated offense, I feel like, and Jones still has it. Actually, Jones might be hurt, though. Jones might be hurt, but Calvin Ridley has been going off so far. So he has Jones. I don't know if he has Jones this week, but Calvin Ridley, their defense is not very good either. But for the Falcons, they are just, for whatever reason, they are the most inconsistent team of all time. They are so weird. And I actually think they're going to kind of come out of nowhere and take this win over the Bears today. It's in Atlanta. I'm taking Ryan over Trubisky, and I'm going to take the Falcons here, guys. 27-23. It's going to be a good game, but I'm taking the Falcons over the Bears. Next game, we have the 0-2 Bengals at the 0-2 Eagles. So, Eagles are off to a terrible start. Wentz is really struggling. Injuries are not great either. I'm pretty sure Jeffrey was hurt. I think he's kind of coming back. But the Eagles don't have much. Bengals, they have talent, man. They really have talent. But they're having a hard time executing. So, let's see. But at the same time, both of their losses so far have been nail-biters. A close loss to the Chargers. It should have been an overtime in Week 1. And then a tough loss to the Browns in Thursday night, 10 days ago. But it was a good game. So, the Bears have talent. The Eagles, they're just simply not that good. They have Wentz, but not much. Good offensive line that's continuing to age, and it's hurt, right? Brandon Brooks is hurt. I don't know if anyone else is hurt, but it's aging. And their defense is not very good either. They have Fletcher Cox, but other than that, their defense just really isn't that good. So that being said, guys, I know the Bengals are on the road here, and you could argue that Wentz is going to have a bounce back game, but I don't think so. I think the Bengals are the better team here, and I'm going to take the Bengals here, guys. 28-20. A little bit of an awkward score, but 28-20 Bengals. Next game, guys, we have the 1-1 Washington football team at the 1-1 Browns. So, Browns coming off a win, as I said, 10 days ago on Thursday Night Football against the Bengals. The football team kind of getting manhandled by the Cardinals last weekend. I don't think it was that close if I recall correctly. They did beat the Eagles, though, in Week 1. They're on the road here. That's the key. The football team might actually be decent at home, but on the road they're just trash. So I don't think it's going to be that close. I think Mayfield is by far the better quarterback here. Not that Mayfield's even that good, but the Browns just in general are the way better team. And I think that the Browns have been reasonably healthy. Chubb's fine, I think. Landry and Beckham are fine. Garrett's all right. So they're relatively healthy, if I recall correctly. Line is J.C. Shredder, I remember, is battling injuries, but their line's decent. And overall, again, they're a team that continues to fight and I think that they're reasonably healthy. So that's in their direction. The football team, I mean, I guess they're technically healthy, but they don't really have anyone besides Terry McLaurin, Chase Young. But in Cleveland, I don't think this is going to be that close. I'm going to take the Browns here, guys. 34-17. Next game, guys. This should be a good one. We get the 2-0 Raiders at the 1-1 Patriots. So the Raiders coming off a nice win against the Saints on Monday Night Football. I guess you could say 6 days ago. So Raiders, yeah, beat the Saints. And then who did they play week 1? Oh, right, close win of the Panthers in week 1. And then the Patriots, tough loss to the Seahawks last week, but man, that was a really fun game. But they got stopped at the 1-yard line. And they also beat the Dolphins in week 1. But at the same time, their one win was against a bad team. And you know how much I want to take the Raiders here. Part of me wants to say Derek Carr is better. The Raiders are going to take this one. The issue with taking the Raiders is that Derek Carr has shown a lot of signs of struggling on the road. I think he's a very underrated quarterback, but him playing on the road is never a great scenario. We've seen him really struggle on the road. So at Gillette, I don't think there's fans, but going against Belichick in Gillette, I don't know. I don't think it's going to see that happening. And again, the Raiders' offense is kind of nice, but their defense is atrocious. They have literally no one on defense. And it's not going to be enough. And Cam Newton is, quote-unquote, the Patriots' power back. Newton's kind of going to tear him up, I think. But I do think it's going to be decently high-scoring, because the Patriots' defense continues to get worse and worse. I know they have Belichick, but again, it's aging. It's showing signs of weakness. So the Patriots' defense is a little bit suspect, and I think it's very overhyped. And again, the Raiders' offense is kind of nice. But on the road, I don't see the Raiders going into Gillette and winning this one. I'm going to take the Patriots here, guys. 27-20. But I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Next game, guys. This should be another good one. 2-0 Rams at the 2-0 Bills. So, Rams, what have they done? Beat the Cowboys in week 1. And I'm trying to remember what they did last week. I'm pretty sure they were beating up, I forget what team they played, but I'm pretty sure the Rams kind of beat up last week too. Goff was playing. Oh yes, I remember Goff went like 12 for 12 to start the game. Goff was on a red hot start, and I'm telling you guys, Jared Goff, it's a big year for him. It's a big renaissance. Goff is just one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league, and I'm telling you, he's going to continue to play at a very high level, and he's shown signs of improvement already. So 2-0 Rams at 2-0 Bills. Josh Allen at the same time is off to a red-hot start, but at the same time, he's kind of just been feasting on bad teams. I mean, they played the Dolphins, and who else? I mean, yeah, that last weekend they feasted on the Dolphins. Actually, I think it was actually a pretty close game, but Josh Allen totally feasted. And then who did the Bills play week 1? I forget. I gotta refresh my memory, but Allen is off to a hot start. But, again, hasn't really been playing a good team. But at the same time, the Rams' defense continues to get worse and worse, I feel like. I know they have Aaron Donald, who's essentially Jesus, but they really have no one else. Lost Corey Littleton. Jalen Ramsey's incredibly overrated and inconsistent and doesn't really fit in the scheme. And I don't know, their defense really worries me. But their offense at the same time is kind of nice. Robert Woods is not the youngest player in the league, but he continues to play at a very high level. Cooper Kupp, great number two receiver. Again, Goff. Running back is Malcolm Brown, I think, because they don't have Todd Gurley. He's looked solid, at least good enough. They have Goff, and really their only weakness is their offensive line, which really plagued them last year. They had a lot of talent, but their line was just atrocious. But I think Goff is starting to figure out how to game plan for that. Their line still isn't very good, but it's maybe not, it's okay, but at least Goff is starting to figure out how to get rid of the ball quickly, not take too many sacks. So that's what Goff has done a great job of so far. We'll see how he does today against the Bills. But Bills, again, Allen off to a hot start. Line is okay. Receivers, though, Stephon Diggs off to a red hot start. Again, though, is he just feasting on bad teams? We're never really going to know. Well, actually, we will. We'll see how he does today. But, yeah, Stephon Diggs, John Brown, and the Bills have a top 3 defense as well. So, this is going to be a close game, and you know how much I love Jared Goff, but I am going to take the Bills here. Bills at home, beating the Bills at home is pretty hard to do, so I'm going to take the Bills here, guys. We're going to go Bills 30-23, but it's going to be a great game. Next game, guys, we have the 0-2 Texans at the 2-0 Steelers. Texans taking losses to the Ravens and the Chiefs. Steelers 2-0. Close win to the Broncos last week, and they also beat the Giants. So, Steelers, I want to say they have the best defense, and I think they do. Their defense was a little suspect last week, though. They kind of almost lost to a backup offense. Cortland Sutton tore his ACL during that game. Drew Lock got hurt. I forget his injury. He's out for a few weeks, though. So, no, they didn't have Drew Lock for the majority of the game. And they almost choked it. I think it was who? Jeff Driscoll was in? I forget who it was. But they were driving down the field. They were at like the Steelers' 20-yard line. But he took a big sack on fourth down, and that iced it. But man, I'm telling you, the Steelers' defense kind of almost choked it last game. But here, what worries me really, and this is not just about today, but in general, the Steelers' offense just simply is not that good. I think Roethlisberger has actually looked fine, but their receivers are just meh. They have a great offensive line, but Connor, he's good, but he's way too inconsistent. But I think they're going to start feeding Benny Snell more, backup running back. He was a rookie last year. And when Connor was either hurt or just not doing well, Snell came in and he actually looked pretty good. So I think they're going to feed Snell more, often at least. We'll see how much they involve Connor. But the Steelers' offense does worry me a little bit. Their defense is excellent, but we've seen that you can't really get away with just having a really good defense because the defense breaks down eventually, and you need your offense to step up, and it doesn't always happen. We've seen that happen to the Ravens on several occasions. Not really anymore, but still. So, at Pittsburgh. And I kind of think that the Steelers are going to get away with this one because the Texans' defense is absolutely atrocious. Watt actually is not off to a bad start. He got 2 sacks last week against the Ravens, but the Steelers' offensive line is very good. I don't know if David DeCastro is playing. I think he was hurt last week. But still, the Steelers are by far the better team here. And the Texans, they have Deshaun Watson. But again, terrible defense, bad offensive line. And that reminds me, the Steelers' pass rush is going to have a field day today. I wouldn't be surprised if they get double-digit sacks. It's going to be ridiculous. Because the Steelers have the best pass rush in the league going up against one of the worst offensive lines in the league. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And the Texans, the receivers are decent, but it's not going to work. They're bad line. Watson can only do so much. It's also in Pittsburgh, so I'm going to take the Steelers here, guys. 35-17. I don't think it's going to be that close. Next game, guys, we have the 2-0 Titans at the 0-2 Vikings. Titans barely beating the Jaguars last weekend, and they also barely beat the Broncos. So 2 nail-biter victories for the Titans so far. Vikings, though, really off to a rough start, and injuries are not helping them out at all. Lost, I should say, well, they did, yeah. Anthony Barr is hurt. He's not playing. I'm pretty sure Michael Pierce is still hurt. He's not playing. So the Vikings are really starting to show signs of regression, and for whatever reason, Cousins is just off to a terrible start. Absolutely terrible. And his receivers are pretty good. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. I don't know if they still have Kyle Rudolph. I think they do. He's just aging a little bit. But, our line is still not great, but they kind of can get away with it to an extent. But, and you guys, know how much I think the Titans are really overhyped. But going into this game, the Titans are by far a better all-around team. And I feel like Ryan Tannehill continues to prove the haters wrong and how, he didn't do anything. He was just giving it to Henry every play. Well, Henry is not off to a good start at all. And I told you guys from last year that Henry was overrated because he's inconsistent. And so far, that's working. We'll see if that continues. But, again, we'll see. Henry has kind of been known to get off to a cool start and then really pick it up late in the season. But at the same time, he's not playing with Marcus Mariota anymore. So I don't know what's really going to happen. But that's kind of off topic. Tannehill continues to play well. Defense is a little suspect, though. They almost choked it to the Jaguars last weekend. It's proving my point that the Titans' defense is it's overhyped, but it's really inconsistent. And I'm not going to say because they can't be good teams. They didn't play great against the Ravens in the playoffs. It was mostly just because we abandoned the run for no reason. But they played good enough against played well enough, I should say, against the Ravens, and then got manhandled by the Chiefs. They did do well against Denver, and then they get manhandled by Jacksonville. You see, it's a back and forth, back and forth. So that's why the Titans defense really worries me. But I think they're going to get away, again, they're going to get away with it here because the Vikings offense is really not that good, and it's off to a really rough start. So, that being said, guys, I'm going to take the Titans here. Will be close? Nah, not really. I'm going to take the Titans here, guys. 27-17. A 10-point game, that's reasonably close, but the Titans are going to outplay them. Alright, lost my camera a bit here, guys. So, next game, we have the, hold on, I just want to make sure I finished all the 1 o'clock games. We did Bengals-Eagles. Alright, so we are now moving on to our 4:05 games. 0-2 Jets at the 1-1 Colts. So, Jets off to an absolutely terrible start. Oh, that reminds me. So, I forgot who the Bills played at week 1. The Bills played the Jets, and Allen manhandled them. So, yeah, took a beating from the Bills, and took a beating from the Jets. Who did they lose to last week? I don't 100% remember, but the Jets are really off to a rough start. And I'm telling you guys, Sam Darnold, if he continues to play the way... I know I'm biased because I'm a Ravens fan, but if Darnold continues to play the way he's playing, Flacco is coming in, I'm telling you. But the Jets, they just have no one. They lost Jamal Adams, obviously. Owasso and Mosley are still hurt, I believe. No offensive line, really. They have Le'Veon Bell, but he's way too inconsistent. So the Jets have pretty much no one. Colts take a really tough loss to the Jaguars in week 1, winning last week. Who did they beat last week? Let me see. I'm trying to remember who the Colts beat last week. But the Colts are 1-1, and they're also at home. So I definitely think the Colts are going to... the Colts are going to take this one. And beating the Colts at home is another hard thing to do. For whatever reason, the Colts really do well at home. I shouldn't say for whatever reason, but it's hard to go in there and win. The Jets have literally no one to work with, so I'm definitely going to take the Colts here, guys. Phillip Rivers, not great, but it is what it is. But that reminds me, I'm pretty sure they did lose Marlon Mack. I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL. So many torn ACL, so no Marlon Mack, but that's not going to be enough to slow them down from winning this game. I'm going to take the Colts here, guys, 31-17. Next game, guys, we have the 0-2 Panthers at the 1-1 Chargers. So, Chargers taking a really tough loss to the Chiefs last weekend, but hey, they played really, really well. And the Chargers did beat the Bengals in a sloppy win in week 1 as well. So, 2 close games, and they easily could be 2-0 right now. Panthers. But that reminds me. So, the Chargers, Justin Herbert came in. It was so weird. So, I remember, Tyrod Taylor was going to start against the Chiefs. And then at the last minute, Herbert was all of a sudden in. Everyone thought that Taylor was hurt, but I guess he was hurt. But they figured out the doctor accidentally infected his lung or something. Something was going on. But one of the team doctors did something terribly wrong. There was a huge mess up when he was checking Tyrod Taylor before the game. So Tyrod Taylor wasn't available to play. So Herbert came in. Now I don't even know if Tyrod's available to play, but with the way that Herbert played last week, I definitely think that Herbert's going to get the start here. In the Panthers, they really have no one. McCaffrey's hurt, by the way. DJ Moore is still there, but Teddy Bridgewater, I guess, is their quarterback, but they really have no one. Just like the Jets, they're just a lost cause. Luke Kuechly retired. They really have no one. Chargers, it's in LA as well. I don't think this is going to be very close. I think Herbert's kind of going to explode, assuming that he's the starter. I'm going to take the Chargers here, guys. Let's go Chargers, 34-20. 34-20 Chargers sounds good. Next game, guys, we have the 0-2 Lions at the 2-0 Cardinals. Cardinals, again, off to a great start. Kyler Murray off to a great start. Lions, not off to a very good start. Took a really tough loss to the Bears in week 1, and then kind of got manhandled by the Packers last weekend. So, that reminds me, though. The Lions got off to a hot start. I think it was 14-3 Lions at one point. But then the Packers just exploded. That's why with Aaron Rodgers, you just never know. So Cardinals at home. No really need to discuss this one. Cardinals have been healthy, I believe, at least for the big guys. Murray's fine. Hopkins is fine. Fitzgerald, I think, is okay. Kirk's cool. So Cardinals were reasonably healthy. But yeah, they're at home. Not going to be very close here, guys. No need to really discuss it. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. 41-17. Gonna go with another 17. 41-17 Cardinals. Next game, guys, we have the 1-1 Buccaneers at the 0-2 Broncos. So as I said, Broncos taking a tough loss to the Steelers last weekend, but the Broncos are not healthy at all. Lost Cortland Sutton for the year. Locke's hurt for now. It's not season ending, but he's hurt. Who else? I mean, we already know Von Miller's done for the year. I don't really know anyone else who's hurt long term, but the Broncos are not very healthy right now. Bucks losing week 1 to the Saints, winning last weekend. I think it was against the Panthers, so that's not really saying much. But again, a win is a win. Brady off to played well last week, struggled a little bit at week 1. But the Broncos all banged up here. I don't really see them. I know they're at home, but I don't see them winning this game. The Bucks are hot. They're coming off a big win. I'm gonna take the Bucks here, guys. We're gonna go Bucks. Jeez, these scores are kind of feeling like it's the same thing every time. I'm gonna go Bucks here, guys. Let's go 31-23. I think the Broncos are gonna start to kind of come from behind towards the end. I think the Bucks are gonna get off to a really hot start and kind of dominate. Then the fourth quarter, the Broncos may try to come back a little bit, but they're gonna fall short. So 31-23 Bucks. Next game, guys, we have the 1-1 Cowboys at the 2-0 Seahawks. Seahawks coming off a close win to the Patriots last weekend. Defense got manhandled the whole game, but they came up strong. They came up big when they needed to, stopped the Patriots at the 1-yard line, and got the win. Cowboys somehow won last weekend. They should be 0-2 right now, but they're not because it's the Falcons. They always find a way to choke. So, they always find a way to choke. So the Cowboys taking the win after getting the touchdown, onside kick, field goal, lost to the Rams in week 1. But the Cowboys, Leighton Vander Esch is hurt. I believe so. They're not exactly that healthy. Prescott continues to look iffy. I know his stats were probably big last weekend, but it's also because it's the Falcons. Their defense is atrocious, and again, Prescott, he's too inconsistent. But at the same time, I do think he's going to play pretty well today because the Seahawks defense is atrocious. Besides Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner. But at the same time, it's in Seattle. Early season, Russell Wilson is essentially unstoppable. He's so good early in the season. Late season, he's a little suspect, but he's very good early in the season. Seahawks are at home here, 2-0. I'm going to take the Seahawks here, guys. 24-13. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring than people think. I'm going to go 24-13 Seahawks. I think Prescott will play well, but they're going to they're going to stall out on offense and settle for field goals or have a couple turnovers. Sunday Night Football game, guys. This is going to be a great game. Week 3 is filled with a lot of big games. We're at back-to-back really big games here. 2-0 Packers at the 1-1 Saints. So, Packers, Aaron Rodgers off to a red-hot start, as I expected. Saints, they're worrying me, man. Their defense continues to get worse, continues to regress, and it's really worrying me. No Michael Thomas, and I don't know, man. I didn't think Breeze was overrated, but he might be. He's really having a hard time beating even the good teams, but at the same time, the Raiders' defense is not good at all, now that I think about it. So, at the same time, though, it's not like Breeze didn't play well, but he can't beat the good teams. And I know the defense isn't really in his control, but Breeze is really worrying me a little bit. Age is catching up to him, I'm afraid. So, they're at home here. But I think the Packers, again, the better all-around team. I've mentioned this before. It's an MVP year for Rodgers. And the Packers continue to have one of the most underrated defenses in the league. Great front seven. Again, secondary is a little bit suspect, but at the same time, without Michael Thomas, it doesn't really worry me. The Saints' backup receivers are not great. Ted Ginn, I don't even know if they still have him. Traquan Smith, it's okay, but it's nothing special. If without Michael Thomas, their passing attack just isn't that good. So yeah, that's not that big of an impact. I know it's in New Orleans, but I don't see the Saints winning this game. They're really just not off to a great start. Packers are off to a red-hot start. And when Aaron Rodgers is on, he's on. There is no slowing him down. So I'm going to take the Packers here, guys. At the same time, they are without Devontae Adams, I believe, which is a big hit. but I think the Packers are going to be able to get it done without him. It's going to be hard because Rodgers has popped off in back-to-back games, but Adams has had like over 100 yards in both games. So, a little bit interesting, but I still think the Packers are going to pull this one out. I'm going to go with the Packers here, guys, 31-28. I think it's going to be a great game, but Packers win 31-28. All right, guys, the wait is over. Monday Night Football, 2-0 Chiefs at the 2-0 Ravens. So, Chiefs coming off a pretty big win week 1 against the Texans, then coming off a close victory over the Chargers last weekend. Ravens coming off a blowout win against the Browns, and then coming off a decent win against the Texans last week. So, there's a lot at stake for this game. So, we'll start with the fans part. So, there's no fans, but I'm pretty sure, like, family members, like 250 family members are allowed to come in. So, some family members are going to be there, but no fans, it's really going to suck. But, anyways, I usually, you guys, I like to go with the Ravens. I like to pick against the Ravens. But, I don't know, I have a gutsy feeling about this one. It's just, I don't know, I've been looking at Patrick Mahomes. Again, Patrick Mahomes has so many great traits, right? He's such a good quarterback, and he's probably the best quarterback in the league. But he has showed signs of struggling on the road. He's shown signs of struggling against on the road, excuse me. So, with that being said, he's now going to have to play a really good Ravens defense. And I know you guys are saying, well, Mahomes killed you guys last year when we played you. That was mostly because the Ravens defense was really banged up. Secondary especially. The secondary was really banged up. All we had was Humphrey. Smith was hurt. Young was hurt. I guess I can't really say we didn't have Peters because he just wasn't on the team yet. But our secondary was really banged up last time we played them. Front seven was never great last year. It's improved now. So I think it's going to be lower scoring. Our defense should play decently well. On the flip side, offense does worry me. I gotta be honest, guys. Last year it was the other way around. I'm more worried about our offense than our defense mostly, and here's why. The Chiefs secondary is not good. Bashaud Breeland is suspended. Travarius Ward is questionable. Tyrann Mathieu insane. But other than that, their secondary is not good at all. But their front seven is. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but Frank Clark is literally Orlando Brown's dad for some reason. Frank Clark just destroys Orlando Brown repetitively. Why? I don't know. But it does kind of seem to fit because Orlando Brown is off to a rough start. At the same time, in both games, he's had to face really good defensive ends. He's had to face Myles Garrett and J.J. Watt. But both times, they have gotten the better of him, which does worry me. And they also have Chris Jones, one of the best interior linemen in the league. So, it's a lot to take in. Our offensive line got last week, late in the game, it was starting to look like the old Ravens offensive line. Great blocking down the stretch, run blocking especially, big runs repetitively late in the game. But I don't know if that was a fluke, but we need to get better with the blocking. That's really our main concern. Passing attack looks significantly better, but the rushing attack is lacking a little bit, and it's mostly because the offensive line is struggling. So it is a little bit worrisome, but I'm still hopeful that the Ravens are going to pull this one out. And again, Mahomes has shown signs of struggling on the road. Last weekend, for example, in LA, against the Chargers, Mahomes did not play very well. He comes up clutch when he needs to be, though. That's the thing that worries me about Patrick Mahomes and the Ravens winning this game. The Ravens had the home field advantage, even though there's not really fans, and they can take the lead. But with Mahomes, you can never be comfortable with the lead because Mahomes can flip that score on a dime. He's so quick with that. He knows how to play from behind. Lamar Jackson is not great at playing from behind, so it is a little bit worrisome. But it's a bold prediction here, guys. But I think the Ravens are angry. They know that they've taken 2 close losses to the Chiefs in back-to-back years. They're at home now. Mahomes finally has to go to Baltimore. I'm going to take the Ravens here, guys. I know you guys tell me I don't usually pick the Ravens, but I'm picking the Ravens this time. I'm going to take the Ravens here, guys, 34-31. I think it's going to be a very close game. I do think both defenses, although both defenses have improved, I think, at least on paper, I do think their defenses are kind of going to fall apart here. But I'm going to take the Ravens here, guys, 34-31 in a very close thriller, as expected. So, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you aren't new. And I am out. Peace out. Have a great day. I know this was long. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And enjoy week 1. Go Ravens.